Hello everyone, this is going to be a very quick video. This is my pen test that I just got some new pens to test with, and I know there are a lot of people out there doing pen tests. One thing, well, a couple things up front, I don't have any fountain pens, so if fountain pens are what you're looking for a pen test, they're not here. There are a lot out there who are doing those, so I hope that you can find what you need there. I mainly tested like what I use, which are gel pens and some of the like highlighters or like markers that I use, like Tombows, mild liners, that kind of thing. I also live in the Seattle area and it is raining today, so it is dark when I'm filming this, and my phone is making it a little bit lighter, but I am doing natural light because it's how you're going to see this the best. I did try my studio light and it kind of washes things out and it's not quite as accurate. So, and I also wanted to mention just right off the bat, I got some of these friction markers and I thought these were really fun. I did include them, the black one, on my pen test, but I thought I'd just mention that. I am a huge erasable pen fan. There are erasable highlighters, I think, that didn't work so well, but the markers are pretty fun. I only did like a pen test, but I haven't used them, so I will touch base later about that. So the planners that I tested were Sterling Ink, Papertess, and Twines and Paper. So again, if you're using something outside of that, this may not be helpful for you. I wanted to start off with, I think, Sterling Ink here. This is the new one. I'm going to try to see how I can fit these all on here. This is the current one. And then this is actually last year's. So I did a variety, but to me, a lot of these are pretty similar. The only felt tip I had was a Mr. Pen one that I got for free. So I don't know if that's like the other more popular. I think it's the Papermate felt tip. I'm assuming that it will be kind of similar to that because usually that one and some of the zigs and mild liners do leak through, and that's been a common thing known for a while. Everything else, though, performed pretty well, so I just wanted to show you the fronts of everything, and then the friction markers down here. Mild liners, I did one pass and then two. Same with the Moxie Life. These, I don't think many people use in these types of planners. Those are made for much thicker paper, but to me, I wanted to have something that very commonly bleeds through. And then these are some Tombows. So to me, they all performed pretty expected. I did want to include, like, this is a TN that I got 2 years ago. So I'm assuming it was, this is the 24, so this is 23, 24, and 25. I feel like they all performed pretty expected. So you can take what you want from these. I'm sure, you know, I'm not going to like go into every single pen and how it performed or anything, but I just wanted to show you, you can do a screenshot when you see all three of these. Let's see if I can get them kind of all on here at once. Let's see, so like the felt tip came through, the Moxie Life, they've always come through. Some of the zigs here, you know, are coming through. But the Tombows aren't in all three. There's shadowing for all of these, but yeah, and then all the felt tips. are doing typically what they do. This is the 2025 I'm holding up closer. So I'm not seeing, again, my use is very practical. I'm not doing like any kind of art on these. So take that for what you will. It's like, I know there's going to be a lot of other examples out there, but again, this is the 23, the 24, and the 25 paper. And to me, it's all kind of as expected. I use the very top friction, so I'm happy, with all of these, and the Tombos not coming through. The mild liners sometimes I use as well. I'm a little surprised because sometimes those do come through. And I think more so on, I don't know, I guess I use them more in Papertess, and I just noticed some shadowing. But, and also, when I get to Papertess, I did see she did a quick paper test on hers she released the video yesterday. So just want to show that for Sterling ink. Again, if you want to see the front of what pens are here. I made them all consistent throughout all of them. My handwriting is not the best. I didn't like sit down and make sure it was perfect or anything. I also do press down pretty hard. So there is that. So this is the Papertess. This is the opposite here. This is 24 and 25 is on this side. I'm trying to put like some light behind this so you can kind of see it. What can kind of mess up this comparison. Now, I do have a Weeks, but I think I'm going to be selling it. So I didn't write in that. This is the A5 Slim Managers, and it has a dot grid. And this is the B6 that I've been in all year. The A5 here, because of the dots, it was throwing me a little bit because I kept looking at the dots. And thinking like that was a little bit of bleed through, but it's not. So it's a little bit like when you're writing, it can kind of come through. Now these, I can kind of see like this is a good example. Like here's a dot, right? If you see right where my thumb is, sorry, my messages are going off. There is a dot, but there's also just a tiny bit of bleed through, like at that same point. And so this is kind of what I had to look for. So this one here, that's an Energel 0.07, so 0.7. So it is like heavier ink here. And I wasn't quite seeing that. Let's see. On the Sterling ink. So if you go back to the Sterling ink, no, it's about the same. It's about the same. And then if you look at 2 years ago, I don't know, I'm seeing like where those dots are. There's possibly like, you could argue that that's more of a shadow, but it's like just these, I'm just looking at those little dots right there. Are they bleeding through? And then when you go to this year's Sterling ink, there's like a little dot. I don't know. I see that little dot here on the end of the 7 looks like it's starting to come through a little bit. And then on the Papertess, it does feel like, I don't know, that the end of the 7 there, that little dot. It's hard. It's hard to see, but if you look here, it's more just shadowing. Sarasa Dry here, there is a little bit coming through. Again, it's the dots that are throwing me on this one. So, I don't don't know. It's up to you. Sorry, my messages are going off on my watch there. But down here, you can see the Tombos aren't coming through, the typical Zig, and these are the Moxie Life. Again, these are very heavy inks. Mild liners are, there's a little bit, but I don't know. They were coming through. The Moxie Life always comes through, but there is even like, again, this is the 2023 Sterling ink. There is like just where you hold it there at the end or do kind of a double pass, it comes through. Let's see. And then I did want to show the Twines and Paper. I don't have a comparison for. So I just used the weeks that I believe I'll be using. We'll see. I did set up like a start of a spread up here. So I kind of, you know, dove into this one to keep this one. Again, I might use part of it and if someone is interested in it, but I do like how I have more freedom on this for my health planner, but that is beside the point. So this is the back of the Twines and Paper. Again, Moxie Life down here, very heavy. Zig, very heavy coming through. It actually bled onto the other side. This is like, so just to explain these, this is a quick tap. These are longer presses in different sizes. So this is kind of a first pass, and this is a, like I'm holding it down. And this is like a 1 pass, and this is a 2 pass. So yeah, I would say Twines and Paper, I'm a little bit more worried about, although I'm up here. I'm using these friction ones at the top. And so I'm just going to have some ghosting, which is very much expected. But down in here, with these Pentel, like they're the 0.7s. They're the thickest ones here. There is a little bit coming through there. And of course the felt tip pen. But a lot of these others, it also helps to have a white page. Let's see. I'm just grabbing some loose paper here to just have some white underneath there. Now there are holes in that white paper underneath, so that's what that is. But I figured it would help to kind of have some close-ups of this. I would say this is kind of, to me, feels like the thinner paper. The Twines and Paper, I'm a little worried about over time, but again, I'm going to be up here. This is just me, practical planning. I'm going to be using this, which is what I expect, and Tombo's down here. So I feel totally fine with that. But this is the only one that actually bled onto the other side. So is there a bad batch? I don't know. Like, that's definitely, people are having issues. Papertess, so she did a quick test of just her TN notebooks because she's heard the rumblings. She's contacting manufacturers. I do believe like the paper went through, like when you order the paper, you can't test every single piece of paper. So I don't know if this is spotty. I don't know if like the A5 Slims are doing better than the new B6s. This is the old B6. Like there could be that going on. But I do think I would expect a printer to, if they get a whole batch in, to at least test one piece out of the whole batch. Like I wouldn't be just accepting of the whole batch coming in, but I don't work in the print industry. I don't know. I do understand you cannot test every paper. You cannot, like she showed, all the packages of paper, and I understand that, but they all came from like a batch. And so having one piece of paper tested, I don't think is out of the question when you have, say you have 40 boxes come in, you test one, but you know it's all from one batch. It's like medications, like they all came from the same batch, or it's for food, you know, you look at all in one batch. You're not trying to test every single one. I don't know. That's just my opinion. If I was working with this high end of paper and high end customers who are the Papertess, Sterling Ink, Twines of Paper, and more, right? Wonderland 222. I don't have that one. A lot of other companies, so many other companies are using this paper. It is up the line, right? It is the manufacturer of the paper itself. And when you're not testing, as like, I didn't even think to do these tests when I even received them. So it wasn't until people started using them and going, oh, well, I'm having this issue now. So I hope that helps. I want to keep it that simple. Yeah, these were all the pens. I pretty much named them there. I picked up this small pack of pens. Jet Pens has kind of like a gel pen kind of grouping that I was just like, sure, that's some, there's a few pens in there that I hear people using more often. So that's as far as I'm going to take it, because I just don't do other types of planning. There are other people out there doing much more elaborate pen tests, but I just wanted to share because people wanted to see the A5 managers and just kind of compare that real quick. And the Twines and Paper were like the two ones that people mentioned they wanted to see. So I did want to show those. Yeah, this, when it says uni question mark, there's a pen here that, oh, it's this one here. I have no idea what this is. It just says uni, and then the whole cap part. Again, I gathered these up from just around my house, and I don't have like a ton. So I hope that helps. If there's something here that you didn't see and I can mock it up real quick and like take a picture and send, like share it in the community tab, let me know. But otherwise, that's as far as I'm going to take it. My opinion right now is I'm using what I'm going to use. None of this slows me down. I have no complaints. There are going to be people that this affects, though. And you know, because of their usage, if they can't use what they have, they're completely valid for saying, look, last year I could use this pen, this ink. This year I cannot. This isn't a usable product. And I do agree that people are buying this product to have that use case. It's not providing that use. So I definitely am on board with that. Personally, I'm fine with these books. I'm fine with the Sterling Ink. I just don't have as big of a need because I'm just practical with the types of inks. Practical planning as in functional planning of just, I'm not using things that bleed through. I just don't. So I'm rambling a little bit, but I am going to get this video up because by the time I got my pens yesterday, it was dark, but I wanted to use natural light so you could see the best. And yeah, and I'm pretty tired because I had my infusion on Monday and I'm still trying to recuperate, and it's just for that week, I'm just not great. So I may have, my brain's a little fuzzy right now. If I miss something, please just comment below. I might do a quick follow-up video. I don't think it's going to be worth a video to do anything, but I can take pictures of certain things. Again, these are all the pens I have. Any kind of variation of a pen that I could find, I put it on here. So I'm sure there's someone else out there who may have a pen and paper situation, you know, combo that maybe you have that you really would like to get tested before you order anything, which is totally valid. So Take care, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.